Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and welcome back to my 8th installment of my Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker Expanded Edition novel series. Today I am going to be sharing the part of the novel which explores and explains Battle of the Heroes. The original leaked Duel of the Fates episode 9 script, but it is officially Battle of the Heroes. Kylo Ren vs. Rey on one of the moons of Endor. Forgot the name, we'll probably go through it in this video though. On part of the crashed second Death Star. So I hope you enjoy. Yeah, like I said, this is really where it steps up a whole nother game. Yeah, they just get better and better from here on. I really hope you are enjoying this series. Let me know down in the comments below if you are, how much you're enjoying it, and what parts of the book and film maybe that you want to see or hear from me read of the book and share. So yeah, subscribe to join the Kenobi crew. Like this video if you do enjoy it, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the rest of this amazing series and my new series, Star Wars Saturdays. I've already launched one of the videos in that. You can go check that out. I'll leave that in the comment section below with a pinned comment. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Yeah. She launched to her feet, reignited her lightsaber. "Look at yourself," he said. He was maskless. Somehow she knew that he would never wear his mask again for her. "You wanted to prove to my mother that you were a Jedi." His voice oozed contempt for that notion. "But you've proven something else. You can't go back to her now. Like I can't." His words cleared her head, because he was wrong. Her darker self had told her not to be afraid of who she was, but so had Leia. Leia knew, and she still had chosen to train her. Kylo Ren did not understand his mother at all. "Give it to me," she ordered. He seemed confused for a moment, as though surprised that she could still resist. "The dark side is in our nature," he tried again. "Surrender to it." "Give it to me," she said, pushing with the Force. He lifted the Wayfinder, stared at it. His expression turned smug. "The only way you're getting to Exegol is with me." Rey gasped and began shaking her head. "No, no, no." His grip tightened. The Wayfinder shattered. Something vicious oozed out of the remains, slipped through Kylo's fingers. He opened his palm to reveal nothing but sticky dust. The thing she had come halfway across the galaxy for, risked the lives of her friends for, had been obliterated. "No!" she screamed. Hot primal rage rose inside her like volcanic magma and erupted forward, swinging her lightsaber. He leapt out of the way of her blow, ducked under the next. He whirled away from her, cape flying. Vaguely through her haze of fury, she realized he was not attacking her, and somehow this enraged her further. She reached, drew power from the Force as though she were a bottomless whirlpool. More, more, more. Her attacks increased in speed. Finally, he could dodge no longer. His own lightsaber was suddenly brought to bear, and they clashed, their blades crackling and humming with energy. Over and over she swiped, slammed, stabbed, and he countered with effort, matching her ferocity. But he gave ground. Kylo stepped back, dropped into the shaft. Without a second thought, she leapt after him. She hardly recalled travelling any distance, but somehow they ended up outside the wreckage on a bridge-like hunk of metal only meters wide. A massive gun turret loomed over them. Beyond it and half drowning in spray was Ren's parked tie. The ocean raged all around, but she pressed her attack, oblivious to the added danger. Kylo Ren had no choice but to attack in kind, and it was so satisfying to strike again and again, only to have their blades clash like cymbals. The impact shivered into her shoulders, bruised her spine and hips. It was better than thinking about what she had seen, what he had done, who she was. A presence cut through her awareness, shining and bright, and a voice screaming, "Rey!" Finn was running toward her, leaving Janna behind to watch their skimming. Rey's instinct to protect Finn was overwhelming. With no thought at all, she called on the Force and thrust out with her hand. He flew backward toward Janna at the edge of the bridge rack. A wave crashed down on the stretch of bridge between them, cutting Finn and Janna off from her sight. The sea was boiling now with a rising tide. As she raged against Kylo Ren, the Force opened itself to her, flooding her with new power, and she found herself leaping out of the way of massive waves, then landing on her feet only to leap again. Kylo leapt after her, using the Force to propel himself into the sky, then again to control his landings. She would not leave this place until one of them was dead, but her blade was not breaking through his guard. She gritted her teeth and attacked him with Force energy. He flew backward, caught himself, and landed neatly. Kylo advanced, pushing with his own force energy. Her temples began to throb with pain, but she stood her ground. He sent the thought directly into her mind. "I know you." "No one does," she shot back. "But I do." She screamed and launched herself at him again. He was physically stronger. The longer they fought, the clearer it became. She was a little faster. Their sabers collided. He pushed. She slid backward on the slick metal surface, his chaotic blade gradually getting closer and closer to her face. She felt this vibration in her cheeks. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a colossal oncoming wave. The ocean was reaching high tide. She leapt as the wave crashed down, using the Force to propel herself high and backward. Rey landed in a crash before another gun turret. She looked around. No sign of Kylo Ren. Maybe the wave had washed him away. No, there he was, striding unerringly toward her, ocean water pouring from his hair, his face. He had withstood the wave. The expression on his face said that he could withstand anything. She attacked, and he countered, but she was tired, slow. She hadn't slept in how long, and she was not yet recovered from healing the Vexus. Her hand smarted with every blow. Another attack, another block, and this one knocked her off her feet. He loomed over her, raised his lightsaber. Rey stared up at him. She was going to die on this wreck of a space station, but maybe it was better to die now than to give in to the darkness later. She glared, preparing to dodge, accepting that maybe she wouldn't be fast enough. Kylo froze. Lightsaber held high. Kylo Ren's gaze suddenly became distant, and he dropped his lightsaber. Rey caught it, exultation filling her. She was going to win. Through the Force came a mighty sundering. Kylo Ren stumbled. Rey's stolen blade pierced Kylo, running him through as incomparable loss washed through her soul, carved her out, left her empty and aching. "Leia!" she cried out. Kylo collapsed, stared up at her in agony, his chest heaving. He blinked hard, against pain, against whatever he was feeling. Leia's last thoughts had been of her, and Poe, and the Resistance, but mostly Ben. Leia still loved him. She had forgiven him. She had called him to the light. Rey's hands trembled as she turned off her lightsaber. Benton did the same to Kylo's. She knelt before him, unsure what to say. His wound was mortal, that was clear. His eyes searched her face, though she wasn't certain what he was looking for. His cheeks were wet, and she couldn't tell where ocean spray ended and tears began. "Your mother," she said. He closed his eyes, as if accepting the inevitable end. Rey didn't know what to do. She'd had a chance to kill him before, and she hadn't. With him broken before her, vulnerable, she found she was even less eager to watch him die. What would Leia do? Rey reached out, put a hand on his chest. His eyes flew open. He stared at her in confusion, and maybe longing? The air filled with a resonant hum. Rey drew on everything around her. So much life in that violent ocean. But mostly, she drew on herself. She gave. Kylo's lips parted, his breathing settled. Muscle and sinew and skin were renewed, rejoined. Even the scar on his face knitted closed, leaving his cheeks smooth and perfect. Rey slumped over, exhausted. She felt his astonished eyes on her, sensed his unasked questions. He was alert now, whole, brimming with life and energy, but he said nothing. Between breaths, she tried to explain. "You were right. I did want to take your hand. Ben's hand." Before he could respond, Rey grabbed Luke's lightsaber. The healing had exhausted her, and she was unsteady on her feet as she ran toward the TIE fighter parked on the wreckage. She dropped into the pilot seat. It took a moment to orient herself to the strange controls, but they soon made sense to her, as flight controls always did. She took off, looking back to see Kylo staring after her, still astonished. Finn and Janna were motes on another island of wreckage, and she was glad to see the Falcon approaching. They would be okay. She didn't know where she was going, she just knew she had to get away. Rey felt like she was being ripped apart by the truth of who she was, by grief. Rey let instinct guide her as she punched the coordinates into the Navi computer. She broke atmosphere and entered hyperspace. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of my Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker Expanded novel series, Battle of the Heroes. This was by far my favourite part of the book, the Expanded novel. Thank you, Ray Carson. Yeah, I just really loved it. I felt so in sync. I felt so in tune. I felt so much involvement with this. It just sounded and felt, and like you knew you were there. It was so cool. Definitely better than the movie part, that's for sure. But the movie was great with this scene. But I feel like Exegol was done better in the movie than it was with Battle of the Heroes. But still awesome. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be enrolled in the TK Jedi Order and the Kenobi crew. And turn on post notifications so you don't miss the rest of this series or my Star Wars Saturday series or any other of the content I post. Have some awesome Star Wars Battlefront 2 content coming your way. So hope you enjoy the content. Until next time, may the Force be with you, always.